Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlie, and of course I am the motorcycle rescuer. Okay guys, back on the floor. The exhaust pipe is on. Now you can see the system there. I've put a lot of pressure on that because I wanted to test it. So it's rock solid, it's not going anywhere. I've put a lot of pressure on it. What I do want to do ideally is somehow take some strain off this end when the end can's on. So I'm going to look at how I do that. It could be as simple as just doing what was done anyway, but making it more secure. So let me see if I can get the end can on this and sorted and all fully secure. If we can get that done, then this bike will be okay. Now Warren is a beast. He's just rough and ready. He flies over bumps. He just has no care in the world. So we'll know if this survives the test of time or not. By a couple of weeks actually, but my guess is it will be fine. That's my guess. If not, the engine needs to come out again, and I think the same bolt process would need to happen, but then I think you'd need to use a dab of weld, which I can do. So that's what we're looking into. Right, let me get this end can on and all of it kind of nipped up and bolted up, and then it should sound like a normal bike. It sounded ridiculous before. I should have shown you actually, but I didn't. Danny might have. Danny, you can send me a clip if you've got one, mate, of how it sounded beforehand. In fact, I've got one from you. You've sent me one, so I'm going to show everyone that clip. But yeah, let's get this exhaust end can on and see how we're looking. While we're here and it's accessible, I'm going to get some mothers on some wire wool, and we'll clean up this shock. Makes sense doing it now, guys. Doesn't need to be perfect, just needs to be better. Focus a little bit more on any of the rougher spots. Put a little bit more pressure on, but not loads. And let the mothers do its magic. There you go. So much better. So quickly. That's the stuff. When I talk about polishing money into bikes, that's the stuff we're talking about, guys. That's the bit that really sticks out when someone comes and looks and they see a shiny pot that shiny. Right, where's a rag? That's what makes the difference. When they see rust, then it looks like an unloved bike, doesn't it? Beautiful. Let's get this exhaust on. Alright guys, so that exhaust in my mind is on, nipped up, bolted, rock solid. It should all be good. I connected that extra earth back up, that's good as well. This is where now I just need to just put the coil back on, the wires, and you should be firing it up. I'm sure some fuel fell out of the carb when I was messing with it, so it will probably take a minute to sort itself out, but ultimately we should hear a bike now that's not overly loud. That exhaust is probably going to be loud anyway, but there should be no blows within the system. So give me a minute, let me just nip and tuck the last couple of wires, and we'll go for first start up. Okay, let's go for first start up. Fingers crossed. rear brake light, is that? Rear brake light switch. Sounds fine. Let's check for leaks. Cover the end. Yes! We have a working system there, guys. That is brilliant news. Engine's back in, everything's nipped and tucked. Started on the button. What I'll do is I'm going to give it a couple of minutes to warm up. Let all the sealant I used high temp sealant. Let it all set. But we definitely have a system there that's good and ready to go. That's great news. I'm extremely pleased. What's next for this bike is I've got fresh brake pads, if they're the right ones, all round, and then it's there's something wrong with the rear brake light switch. I'll have a look at that, but that is a good working system now on the exhaust. That's brilliant. I'm very, very pleased, guys. I can't wait for the first test run. Right, let's carry on with this one-day project. I'm going to get the check my new brake pads, and the rear were terrible, so I'm going to see if I can sort out the rear. Having a look at this, look how the rear pads have worn. You see how they've worn at an angle like that? That's because the slider is seized solid. That's why I always tell you to grease these sliders here. Look, they are rock solid. I'm going to have to hammer this one out. It all needs cleaning, pushing back in, brake pads, blah blah blah, same old, you've seen it a million times. And then yeah, basically new pads in and it's good to go. But yeah, they are rock solid. They're not going anywhere at all. Right, I'll get them sorted. So I used the torque gun, the Ryobi, to punch out these pins. Guys, these pins are shocking. They're so annoying when you do brake calipers. I strongly suggest one of these. It doesn't have to be Ryobi, but a torque gun. It just makes life so much easier. And I wasn't even using that properly until Nat gave me this set with the Allen keys, and it is just the best. If you'd put an Allen key on that, there's a big chance it would have just rounded off and you'd be stuck and you'd be screwed and you'd need a new caliper. That thing just blasts it off every time. Anyway, that bit's done. These can now fall out. We can start cleaning. We can pull out this the slider and we can get it all set up properly. Check, you see these pins are so far out? We need to check that the fluid wasn't topped up, because if it was, when we push these back in, it won't actually go back in. So find the fluid, which will be up here. Check that it's not fully topped up. If it is, take some out before pushing these pins back and give them a good clean first. So I'm just taking my own advice and popping this off, and I'm going to check the fluid, make sure it's not been topped up to account for the low pads. Yeah, so quite simple. There's 2 bolts here at the front. There's one here at the back. It's an Allen key, like that. Pop that front off. Check the reservoirs, pop them off. Hope they don't round. That happens a lot. If they don't round, get them off, see how high it is, and then take some out, basically, because you're going to be pushing some back up the system. So if you look at this fluid, it is maxed out. Yeah, it's very dirty as well. Years back, I remember fighting with the calipers, absolutely fighting. I didn't have the knowledge that if this was full and you're trying to push them back in, this doesn't go anywhere. It's maxed out. So suck some of this out. Just use a rag. Just soak it up on a rag. Be careful if it falls on the paintwork, it can corrode. And yeah, then we'll start again. We'll start pushing them, clean them pads, calipers, push them back, and we'll fill this up with fresh fluid. We should really, this is so dirty, I should punch some fresh fluid through. So there you go, guys, calipers cleaned and back in. I'll clean up the pins. I've already cleaned, I'll grease them, the sliders, and push them back in. And then new pads, hopefully they're the right ones. They should be. And then we're good to go. We've got the rear brakes sorted, and that's a lot of the work done on this bike. So that's great news. So pads all in, caliper all on, everything down there good. This is where we basically push the pistons back out. Careful though, because there shouldn't be much air in this system, which means, there you go, it will squirt out. But we do need to get the pistons out onto the caliper. So push it a couple of times. Again, no air in there, so nothing to bleed because we didn't take anything off. But we do want both pistons, so look, hold it down quite strong. We want both the pistons to come out at the same time. Then I'm going to top it up now, put the lid back on, and that back brake's good to go. If I have, I'm going to check now to see if I have a replacement rear, but I don't think I do. I will just put a ball on the end like I did last time. Oh, watch out, that stuff's that shows you there's no air in the system. Alright, so top it up a tiny bit because we don't want it to go too low. Chuck that back on, nip it up. I'm going to have a look at the front. So the back should be good to go there. It should be done and dusted. So while we're here, everyone, we know that the rear brake switch doesn't appear to be working. So this is where we test it. Check it again now that you've done the brake service, because sometimes they just go out of tolerance. But it won't be that on this occasion. Check the switch. What you do then is you pull off the two wires and you touch them together and you check to see if, I'm going to show you what I mean. So I'm going to pop them off, there you go. Right, so what you want to do here is you want to touch them together, see if the light comes on. So I can't do that with my phone. In fact I can throw you on the stand. And then I'll touch them together. If the brake light comes on, we know that the switch is the issue. Let's have a look. There you go. I couldn't see myself, but as you see there, the wiring's all good, so it is down to the switch. On very rare occasions, I've just played with these switches, just got them off, loosened them up, played with them, and they've come back. So I'm going to look at that quickly. There's the switch. Just play with it a bit. Sometimes just loosening it up. Again, sometimes it only went in and out a little bit because of the pads, or it went in too much because of the pads. So we're just kind of loosening up all the tolerances. See if that works. There is one hole normally, there you go, where you can spray in some WD or something just to displace any water. Otherwise, I have pulled these apart once or twice and got them working again, but otherwise order a new one. It's a few pounds. Well, I'm going to chuck that back onto the switches just loosely, and we'll see if loosening it up has brought it back on. As you can see there, the switches has had it. I'm going to look, see if I have a spare in there. Otherwise, I will pull this apart and just have a little look. So I've pulled it apart just purely out of curiosity here, guys. Now, basically, that's metal. That's a metal ball, so that needs cleaning. They're very gunked up. They're metal. They need cleaning. That's gunked up. That's metal. That needs cleaning, and that's a simple spring. It's a very simple system. It touches. It puts the light on. It comes loose. It stops the light. It's very, very simple. So cleaning all of the contacts should be enough to bring it back. So I'm going to give that a shot. Just, I'm curious. That's all. Nothing more. It's no loss. So it's back together, guys. Just be careful the spring don't fall out. But I'm going to chuck it on the bike. Oh look, I said that and it fell out. Right, hang on. I'm going to chuck it on the bike and we're going to test it gently to see if it has sorted itself out, because it looks all good. It just needed cleaning up. It should theoretically become back to normal, but it could be kind of too worn. Looks like it's working. Looked to me like a job well done there, guys. Saved 7 or 8 quid in 4 days wait. It's spot on. I'm very pleased with that outcome, guys. That was spot on. Right, front caliper, I'm going to pop it off. I've got pads anyway. I think they're the right ones. Be nuts not to put them on, and then the bike should be good for a year for one. Which is great news. Plus all this is off at the moment. This is the absolute right time to do it. I'll pop that off. I'll have a look. If they've got life left in them, I'll keep them in the seat and we'll use them. I hate wasting money. I hate throwing away things. But if they're close or nearing the end, we'll just swap them over while we're doing all this. It just makes sense as well. So the front pads have life left in them, guys. That means I'm leaving them alone. I'll chuck the spare pads in under the seat. They good 6 months to a year left on that, no problem at all. Needed a bit of a clean though, which I obviously did. Oh god, where are we next? So I'll get all this top bit put back on because that's all back to normal. The exhaust, I realised that one of the holes I was using to mount the exhaust was the caliper hole, so I need to mount this up here. I think it's going to involve drilling here and then bolting through. So I'm going to look at the angles. It'll be something like that. So I'm basically going to drill a hole there so that I can mount this exhaust properly, because yeah, I mounted it underneath and I didn't realise the hole I was using was the caliper hole. So not good at all, obviously. So let me get this. I could hang down a little bracket here and work something out, but a bit of a pain. Might be a bit off just drilling straight through and putting a nice big solid bolt on it. So that exhaust is fully done and dusted now, guys. Fully sealed, tight, no holes at all. The emissions valve is blocked. You can see that just down there, done and dusted. Alright, so that's good. What do I need to do? I'm going to throw the bucket back in, and then I need to go home. It's my sister's birthday tomorrow. We're having dinner tonight, so I need to buy her a card. I completely forgot. God, what day is this? Saturday or Sunday? It's Saturday while I'm filming. I don't know how much I've got out. I'm trying to cut mine down to 20 minutes slot now, guys. Because, you know, people just don't watch. I get that and all. I get that. People don't watch half an hour's. 15, 20 minutes is the optimum time, isn't it? 4 times a week, roughly. Drop a comment, please. Make sure you press the like button. Make sure you subscribe. And I guess I'm going to have to finish this off tomorrow. It would be unfair to not show you the final product. So tomorrow, before we call it a victory, I need to check that the battery's charging. There's no reason, I have no reason to think it's not. I just need to check. And then I need a MOT check. Front light's not on. We haven't checked the indicators. Horn works, we heard that. Shocks are all good. Front light bulb, okay. Alright, I'll look at that tomorrow. Gives me something to do. Otherwise, it's running and riding absolutely spot on, guys. Excellent.